There we go. This is the game we've all been waiting for. This is the dream of Fnatic. They are in the situation that was probably the only situation for them to qualify. Sure, they could have gotten 3 games, but beating Longzhu is like good luck in esports. You know, Longzhu is looking slick and powerful. 3 tank bans is what worked the last time against Immortals. We will most likely see an Ezreal from Xmity. And last time Fnatic did get that W, so they're sticking to the same strategy. The support pool is quite open. Janna is going to be the first pick. Xayah is out of the picture, so it's not that powerful, but Janna has had an insane win ratio at this tournament, so why not? It's completely fine. I think it's all Gucci, you know? Especially if Fnatic want to play Rek'Sai, right? Rek'Sai really dislikes playing against... whoa. Like, Rek'Sai really hates playing against Janna. So, is this a Lulu Twitch straight up? Like, that is very bold to do it just blind. Because I'm sure Fnatic have a pick that is going to be good into the Twitch. Seems like they're going to wait with support pick and just pick Ezreal. That's fine too, right? Either way, I think the outcome will be similar for them. Yeah, I think you know, saving the jungle pick is just better. Fnatic confidently lock into Tristana and the Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai was very expected, right? Not a big deal. And then we have the Ezreal once again. So the biggest outlier here is that Immortals have Twitch and Lulubot. They will look for trades. And then Fnatic with Tristana and the Janna. And I feel like Reckless is way more comfortable in the current meta than Cody Sun is. And I think Cody Sun is not the type of player that is going to do fantastic things on Twitch. I just can't believe it. His Tristana has been very bad, and I feel like Twitch requires even more skill than that. So I think you know, it's bold that Immortals are putting so many eggs in the Cody Sun basket, because I am not a believer of it. Taliyah is the ban. Maybe Jace is going to be the second one. Jace has been a pick that Immortals played, and it was, in fact, very powerful. Cassiopeia is a ban that they're doing against Caps. Maybe we'll see a Syndra ban. Yeah, Syndra ban was already banned from before, sorry. And now they're just thinning through Caps' champion pool. I'm assuming after these bans, Caps is going to play Ryze. He's going to pick up Ryze here. It's not going to be the greatest champion against the enemy team, but it's going to do fine in mid lane, and it's going to be okay to play with Ryze in the early game, and then maybe he's going to have a lot of pressure on the side lane, and then maybe he's going to kill whatever tanks Immortals pick. So Immortals should just pick their mid laner here. Corki is a possibility that can be blind picked here, with Cassiopeia being out and Syndra being out. Like, sure, Corki doesn't necessarily get hard counted by these champions, but you know, Ryze, okay, that works too. That works too. I feel like Ryze is a steal away. Like, we saw Pobelter playing it, and Ryze is probably a lot better than picking Corki. I think if I think about the matchup, I think Ryze should beat Corki. And now the main question is, what will Fnatic pick into Ryze? Will it be an Orianna? There's a lot of mid lane bans here, so this is a very open-ended question. Malzahar. What? Okay. Okay, man. Crazy stuff. And they're hovering the Cho'Gath. Sure, Cho'Gath can follow up on that Malzahar ultimate, but other than that, there's very little follow-up. And now Immortals with this composition, this Ezreal Twitch Ryze thing, I feel like they need a frontliner that can face check those bushes and get Malzahar ulted without getting blown up. We're looking at a Maokai. So Malzahar as the champion does quite well into Ryze, I would say. He does quite well, and he can ult him and set up those ganks, and together with Rek'Sai, they can easily one-shot him at level 6. Malzahar as a champion scales very well, but usually what Malzahar is being used for is killing tanks. Like, he's very good at killing tanks, and Immortals have none of that. Like, sure, they have the Trundle, which is, of course, a tank, and he can still do a lot of damage to him, but with the Ezreal jungle, the options are more limited. Main thing with Malzahar, he forces the enemy team to buy Quicksilver Sash, and if Tristana is even with Twitch, and Twitch is forced to spend 1300 on Quicksilver Sash, then all of a sudden Tristana is ahead of the curve, right, in terms of DPS. So as we're talking about this stuff, you know, Malzahar, mid lane, I think he's going to push, and Ryze will be able to contest that. I think I'm not too sure about how it works with Ryze E, because if Ryze E just one-shots all the Voidlings, I think that's going to be a bad thing. The Voidlings do in fact like get killed by one auto, one spell in some cases, and I'm really curious to see if Ryze E just one-shots the Voidlings, because I think that could be like a big deal. Using Voidlings might be a big problem there for Malzahar. I'm not too sure about that. The last time I saw this matchup was pre-rework Malzahar, and Malzahar was really OP at that time, and this was like the Malzahar support days when everyone just locked it in for support, and it was just an easy free win. Malzahar did get hit with some nerfs. I think support Malzahar got nerfed more than anything, but mid Malzahar, you know, I'm expecting to see like a Morello, Leandri's, Rylai's build, and when you reach these items, all of a sudden you're like a monster in terms of damage output. 2 Relic Shields on bottom, Cho'Gath up top against the Trundle. He's going to be hit by that counter pick. What we need to pay attention to the most here is what is going to happen with these junglers. The last time around, Xmeri had a very good start, or not a very good start, I think it was quite even. And Fnatic, the strategy of camping top when Soaz was top worked out very, very good. Let's see if we will see something similar where top lane is no longer that island. I feel like Rek'Sai and Cho'Gath is a very lethal combo that can chain the CC together, and if you gank early enough in the game, they'll have enough damage to kill the Trundle. And I feel like if they put Cho'Gath ahead, he's not going to be that terrible in this matchup, but hopefully Xmeri is going to look to contest this. Immortals have made this predictable invade every time now with Ezreal. Ezreal has been invaded, like they invade every time with Ezreal, and the last time they got heavily punished for it, and now we have that situation once again. Flash from Ezreal. Holy moly, Immortals, you've been invading the same way about like 3 times now. Every game you played Ezreal, you've been invading the same way. The outcome is not that terrible because Caps took a lot of damage here, so he's going to be forced to pop his potions already. Soaz should be in time for top lane, and question here, how much will it matter Xmeri's health now? So he's quite unhealthy, he's taking a lot of damage from the blue buff, gets the leash, smites it, scared of the Twitch poison I guess, misses the Q on Volts it looks like. Used his second potion already, but I feel like he should be able to kite the red buff enough and then maybe do an earlier crab than usual, and it should be fine. Rek'Sai got a pretty decent leash, and I think he's going to be healthy, and the main thing we need to pay attention to is both these junglers kind of have a lot of diversity in their jungle path, and let's see if they will cross or what kind of pressure they create. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Level 2 gank up top, Xmeri. This is quite a good one. Soaz might be dead here, yeah, he should be dead. He should just be straight up dead. I don't know how Soaz was managing his wave here, because it was just in such a awkward position. Like what happened here? Like the wave is in a really strange position. Is it because Trundle was first to lane? No, they're like walking at the same time to top lane. And then Cho'Gath is kind of slow pushing, and Trundle is keeping the lane even. I'm not too sure. The second wave is not pushed in time because both top laners were in top in time, and then the gank just comes in, the level 2 gank, and it pays off big time. So as 100% is dead in this case, and there's nothing for him to do. It's a very early gank though, it's like 2:30, there's like Elise duration ganks. And the mindset could be that Xmeri will be slowed down in the jungle, you know, with the lack of flash and the lack of health, maybe he'll slow down, but Xmeri did the level 2 gank, right? It's not level 3 gank, so pace-wise, like let's say he had to have level 3 to gank, then it would have looked a lot different. Xmeri gets his Raptors taken away. Trundle snowballing onto Choga is very important, and the earlier it happens, the earlier turrets will fall. It's kind of sad because Rek'Sai was just about to go into river and contest the grab. Broxah is taking a lot of camps here, and Ezreal's down bottom. So Broxah is not too unhappy, but he hasn't based yet. Are they really aiming for this gank? It will take so much time for Trundle to be in a position where he's actually threatened. So I don't like the fact that they wasted any time at all for that, because Broxah would have to invest another minute for this gank to succeed, and that's just not a good play. It just isn't. We're gonna assume that Broxah is gonna go into top side once again because he has his camps there. Whoa. Alright. Good stuff from Xmedi so far. Good stuff. He's pressuring most of the lanes. Very important what happened here on bottom. And, you know, Tristana is very unhappy that she has to base and buy these daggers. Because Twitch wants to buy this because he wants to buy Hurricane, but Tristana wants to buy BF. The main thing is as well that Fervor is there for Cody-san. So he's going to scale very well into the game and do a lot of good things with the Hurricane. And Worlds of Bloodless is better for the lane phase, I say. And both junglers are just playing a bit of a back and forth here. Boxer just clears his top side. Did he give blue to Caps? I don't think so. Could have been an idea. See, Soaz has a massive CS deficit, but he has this big wave at his turret, so it isn't as bad as it seems. After this wave at the tower, I think Soaz should catch up to maybe like 31 CS, but it seems like he missed quite a few. The wave was freaking huge at the tower. He's at 29 now. Trundle seems to channel his recall. No, the Voidlings don't die. Well, I'm not too sure. Like, he eat there and they all died. So I'm not 100% sure. This is definitely like a ninja tabby game for Fnatic. Playing against 380 champions, and the main thing we are looking for here is the fact that Caps is level 6 now. The Rek'Sai gank should come into mid lane, and they should be able to one-shot Pobelter. And the main thing is, sure, Ezreal can do his shenanigans, but if he comes into mid lane at the same time, he can't really stop the Malzahar ultimate, and that's going to be a problem for Xmedi. So the 2v2 is heavily in favor of Fnatic, and it's important that Fnatic play around it and then transition that pressure elsewhere to the map. Let's just maintain these pings. Love the fact that Broxah and Caps are working together a lot more. Full control on top side, makes Choga very safe, makes bottom safe as well at the same time if they play around correctly, because they know now that Ezreal is bottom side. What else is he supposed to do? So as long as Tristana and Janna play safe here, Fnatic are in a position where they have pressure top side, and with the push of Malzahar they can create situations where they can just one-shot this Trundle. So let's see what happens here. No flash necessary from Caps, he's using all his spells before he ults, and there's the ult together with the Voidlings, a shit ton of damage. Very good stuff. They're playing around the mid lane, transition that pressure on the top side of the map. The trade-off here is that Xmedi takes the red buff, but it's going to be all equalized because Rox is doing the same up top side. Ryze is now pushing mid. Banana is sent to top side. The question is now, Immortals, will they make the equalizing play into bottom? Because right now they're not getting much with the Ryze in mid lane. It seems like they're just going to take that bottom tower as 3. First tower is going to go to Fnatic. I feel like Fnatic's bot lane, you know, are they doing the crazy thing with trying to defend? Well, it doesn't seem like it because Ryze is currently on the wrong side. I feel like Ryze needs to go towards bottom, but Ryze is completely out of mana. He can't contest this. Maybe Fnatic can delay this long enough. Nah. It's just too difficult against the double 80. Too difficult against double 80. Okay. So Fnatic get first tower here, which is top tower. Not too bad for Immortals that it's top tower, because, you know, they're gonna want to swap into top side and play into the enemy's top tower and play towards Rift Herald anyway. So with their situation, you know, they can try to push out bottom, and then they can try to swap, and they want to play around that top tower and that rift herald at the same time when it spawns. And Fnatic is content with the fact that they got the kill on Trundle, and they also picked up the first tower, but right now the gold is quite even, and so it's all about equalizing that Ezreal first blood gold from before. The same thing stands here though, that you know, Pobelter was farming out mid lane while Malzahar was on side, so Caps lost a bit of CS there. The main thing here is that Broxah just needs to keep playing around mid lane, because Immortals shouldn't have a response to this. Immortals just shouldn't have a response to this, especially when Fnatic also is managing to maintain a push in bottom. If they just play with Malzahar and Rek'Sai together, I'm loving what they see. They should just, the proximity between these two players should be so huge. Like the number should be so high. And Kurdistan is taking so much damage. Holy moly. Rek'Sai and Malzahar are just backing off. They're afraid of the potential Ryze follow-up, and their bot lane is winning the bot lane fights anyway. So it's not a big deal. They are very happy with this situation. Fnatic are not taking any major risks. They're just pushing out mid again, and they're just rinsing and repeating. What can Ryze really do? He's not getting support from Ezreal, and without QSS, he's just gonna get one-shotted. He's gonna straight up get one-shotted. And the 2v2, you know, what is Ezreal really providing in that case? You know, if you had a champion that could actually cancel the Malzahar ult, then it would look a lot different. But Ezreal's not going to kill them while Malzahar is ulting, so that is an issue for sure. The 2v2 is just too strong here for Fnatic, and I think Malzahar, even though it's like quite good against Ryze, it's also really good against Ezreal jungle. Because Ezreal can't gank Malzahar. What's he gonna do? Like if Ezreal ganks Malzahar, he's just gonna E him and W and then ult him, and he's just gonna get one-shotted as well. Like Ezreal is so squishy, and Fnatic just need to keep playing with the same playstyle here. And the main thing for Immortals is that they have this Trundle that is ticking away against the Cho'Gath. They have Iden Spike on the Twitch. Main thing here as well for Immortals, if they try to play through bottom side, Ryze can follow up like partially with his ultimate. He can cross some walls and not be there too late. But even then, like if Fnatic managed to one-shot someone before Ryze is even there, it's going to be a massive issue. So the more and more I think about this, the more and more I'm becoming a fan of this Malzahar pick, because regardless, it's going to just be tough to deal with here for Immortals. Sure, they secure Cloud Drake, but no, if the trade-off is that Fnatic get the Rift Herald, then they are very happy. And it doesn't really seem like Flame is causing any troubles here for Soaz. Soaz is just farming away, and it doesn't seem like he's being pressured at all. There's very little vision for Flame to work with, so maybe that is the reason why. But currently, Fnatic are very happy in their spot. Like Ryze is very pressured. Right now we have a moment though where Immortals pushed out bottom. Enemy bot lane was nowhere to be seen. They were in base and walked down to bottom. So right now Fnatic are kind of in danger here in mid lane. Caps has to flash away. And there's the root. The root comes too early. The root was way too early. The root was early because, you know, there's this small timing window for Malzahar where he's actually immune to all spells. Like he has this shield going for himself, and it's not like a shield where you use one spell and it breaks. It breaks after like, I think it's 0.25, and then the root came in at the wrong time, and the root was just poorly placed there. It was just too rushed, and maybe could have led into a kill onto this Malzahar, because he is in fact squishy, and the root would have been very long. The root would have been 2 seconds long because of the mark, and you know, it matters here. It matters. You know, if you're playing the game that tie breaks for the quarterfinals of Worlds, then this is going to be what decides it. You know, it's going to be very close. But I am really happy with Fnatic's state of the game right now. Really happy. Because I'm struggling to find ways here for Immortals to convincingly take over the game. That is my main issue here for Immortals. How do they take over the game? As long as Rise doesn't have Quicksilver Sash, there's no way for Rise to beat Malzahar. I'm sincerely hoping that the item that's coming up next for Rise, with this Road of Ages finished, is the Quicksilver Sash. And then all of a sudden Immortals can start playing the game. But right now they're not playing the game. Right now they're playing they're playing checkers, and Fnatic is playing chess. They're just ahead here. Rift Herald is using mid, and Fnatic is kind of neatly just transitioning pressure across the board. They are maintaining pressure around mid, transitioning that into vision, and then using the vision to just walk into river, and then Fnatic can all of a sudden push out bottom the entire way because the enemy team needs to be scared, and they're just pressuring from all angles. And then the moment Fnatic managed to push in bottom all the way to the turret, they just rotated into mid. Immortals bot lane with the Twitch was forced to be stuck in bot lane. Immortals now committing into play. Pobelter now quite deep. No summoners on Pobelter. After he tried to go for that kill on Caps, that didn't work out for them. Twitch tried to commit into bottom, and Rise was trying to follow it, but very easy disengagement for Fnatic. We can see that Janna used flash, so maybe it wasn't that easy. He was forced to burn something at least, but Rise, as we talked about it before, they aren't working with a lot of vision. They have vision in their own jungle, and Rise got caught and cut in half here by the Malzahar and the Rek'Sai. And Fnatic just need to keep playing to this idea. Pobelter needs to buy QSS as soon as possible. Very big deal that he lost his summoners. Malzahar lost his summoners too, but it's a big difference when you're the one under a lot of gank pressure to lose your sums when the enemy team, when your team can't really pressure the Malzahar. And now with the death of Rise, he's in base right now. Fnatic is just committing to pressuring this bottom tower. Can code some commits here. He has the Hurricane, a lot of AD items as well. X-Punch hits Reckless, he's very low here. And Immortals managed to defend the turret. The ult cooldown on Malzahar is so low, and we have the Lucidity boots as well to reduce the cooldown of Flash. I think it's legit. Malzahar is so reliant on his Flash, and when he can Flash ult the key targets, then that is game winning. So I love the fact that we see Lucidity boots here. What would Senkuk say about this gameplay? Instead, we have a Mercury Threads, which is complete garbage. Mercs is so bad in this game. It helps you against the silence of Malzahar, sure, silence of Cho'Gath, but not against the ult of Malzahar, not against the knock-up of Rek'Sai, not against the knock-up of Janna, and you should have invested this money to get closer to the Quicksilver Sash, because that is what's going to save you. The earlier you get QSS, the more you will use it, for sure, and it's going to make such a big difference. There's a lot of cases where, I see like Cassiopeia against Malzahar, and the Cassiopeia is just straight up buying tier into Quicksilver Sash, because it makes such a big difference. You're just removing the enemy's ultimate out of the equation. Fnatic are just playing with the same game idea, pressuring through mid into bottom, and then just walking through bottom, and then walking towards top side. And now Fnatic were lucky enough to get the Infernal Drake to spawn. I didn't see that before, but if they're just maintaining pressure the way they are, where they're just pressuring through mid into bottom, and then bottom pushes all the way, and then they can't take anything that they want. And right now, it just doesn't seem like Immortals can deal with the fact that Malzahar is so powerful in the mid lane. We need to see a Quicksilver Sash on Rise. So as now with a good angle, Righteous Glory is slowing people down. Good juke from Kodi-san is forced to flash eventually. Fnatic is just in a better position now to continue to pressure. Rise might just push out mid lane, and that might be it. Might have a 2v2 situation in mid, which I think Fnatic, even against Trundle, should win. Trundle could pillar and cancel the Malzahar ult, right? But I don't know. Don't think that, like if they just they could just one-shot the Trundle, right? Trundle's not tanky if he doesn't manage to ult anything valuable. There is a wave bottom though, so they didn't clear the second wave, so the tempo here is going to be similar. Seems like Fnatic just didn't push the wave because they want to walk bottom anyway. They don't want to walk top just yet. There's no turret for them there, there's no Rift Herald for them there, so the lane assignments don't matter too much. It's more about being efficient more than anything. Finally, we have the QSS on Rise. Maybe we can see Immortals creating some situation for themselves in mid lane where they can actually contest this 2v2 in mid and contest the vision of Fnatic. The goal differential isn't that big of a deal. Rise having QSS in mid lane, I feel like they can actually 2v2 now, which is going to change the landscape of this game. The biggest problem for Immortals is that they did in fact lose their mid tower during this entire ordeal, and they also lost an Infernal Drake. So Fnatic is in a very healthy state. Like, the game differential might not be that big, it's still like significant. It's a significant goal lead, I would say, but the biggest things that don't get counted into this is the fact that Fnatic do have an Infernal Drake, and they also have the mid tower, which is one of the most important objectives in the game. Both of them are. Korisan with no flash has walked up way too far. Q lands on him. Rek'Sai is going to use his abilities. Wild Growth has been used. Feast is on cooldown. Caps is also here. He just goes to down here. He's gonna have to maybe ult. No, his E is just enough. He doesn't need to ult. Very confident play here from Caps, and I need to take a look at that again because that happened very, very fast. Very, very fast. And right now, you know, it's looking like Fnatic will stomp this game anyway. So Tristana was bottom, and they're walking into mid lane right now. Right now, Malzahar and Tristana and Janna have priority through mid. Rise is stuck here. They're walking to top side, and Cho'Gath is waiting in the bush and now chasing down the Twitch with the Righteous Glory. And then Ole was out of position. They didn't expect the Cho'Gath to show up from the bush. Like, this is some Jurassic Park shit. He just shows up and Righteous Glory is against the Twitch, and Twitch has no flash. If this was Janna, maybe you could live, but it's Lulu with Wild Growth, and it's not enough. And with the priority from mid lane, finally, Fnatic here with the Ghost of Caps just come in to seal the deal on 2 kills. Another strength of Malzahar is that he does a lot of damage onto Nash, and you know, 20-minute Nasher, holy Christ. Malzahar's not even helping out. Like, he's the guy with the most DPS on Nasher, but he just doesn't give a shit. Alright. Soaz wants to feast it, obviously, because he's getting like stacks he can't get from creeps. Creeps can only give you 6 stacks, and big monsters in the game, like epic monsters, meaning like Dragon and Baron and players, like enemy champions, can give you infinite stacks. And there we go, we got the Righteous Glory to begin it. We can see that Fnatic's bot lane and their mid lane is already roaming through here. They got mid priority. Ezreal's in base, wouldn't have mattered in this case, and IMT just give up that double kill, and Caps is doing an intense amount of damage there. Fnatic are doing this thing where they're sieging together as a team. Malzahar still can ult people and they can potentially one-shot, but ooh, the Q of Cho'Gath had to be on the Trundle instead here. Like, if the Q of Cho'Gath was on Trundle here instead, then he would have just been straight up one-shotted, and Reckless could have finished them off with some auto attacks. So definitely a misplaced Q there from Cho'Gath. Should have been on the Trundle ultimate. Like, I mean, it should have been on the ultimate from Malzahar. Because, you know, if you chain CC that, he doesn't get his ultimate off, and he's just gonna be bulky and happy. But with the fact that Trundle got so low, Fnatic are just walking in here and taking a tower. Not too sure if it's the correct approach not to spread their Nasher, because I feel like, you know, Malzahar is so powerful at this point, they can just push in waves. But it's working, right? Fnatic have a long enough range here on Tristana for her to just hit the tower safely and not be under any danger. The engage from Immortals is very weak. They are heavily relying on being ahead with this team composition. It's hard for them to face check bushes, it's hard for them to engage. The only tool they have is the Twitch, and I feel like the roles have been very reversed here. I remember the first game that Immortals played against Fnatic, and that looked terrible because Fnatic only had that one win condition, which was Twitch, and Choga wasn't in such a bad state. And now the tables just have turned. Like, Fnatic's draft has been picking up steam. I like this Malzahar. This Malzahar deserves a lot of credit. And Malzahar is a champion that Caps has played in the past against Rise, and he was a fan of it when no one else was. And I think Malzahar is a great champion those rare occasions. And this time around, you know, forcing so many enemies to buy Quicksilver Sash and creating so much pressure in mid lane for such a long time, because the 2v2 is so powerful with Malzahar. Like, effectively, like, what's the most OP about Malzahar is that his 2v2 skill in mid lane is absolutely crazy. It's super strong and it's super OP in 2v2 alone, because 2v2 is all about just one-shotting one target, and Malzahar is like the master of this. Malzahar has almost enough damage to one-shot people alone, but that extra damage from your jungle is just enough to pull yourself through, and it's looking like Fnatic is just going to beat Immortals out. Like, Immortals, holy moly. Like, Immortals, to consider that they had 4 chances, you know, they had 4 chances. Like, if they lose this game, they've had 4 chances to just win one game, and they just haven't been able to pull through. I feel like Immortals have heavily underperformed comparing this week to the last one. I think Flame has been playing fine. I think other than that, the rest of his team has just not been good. And Twitch is so low. The E is doing so much damage from Malzahar, but Fnatic don't have a Baron. Soaz is very low on HP. He needs to kind of run around, and they don't really need them because Twitch needs to heal to full health. And Fnatic now with the second inhib, 24 minutes into the game. Holy moly. It all comes down to that Malzahar pick. I think this Malzahar pick is great. It's really working, and Fnatic, for the first time, or not the first time, but they actually effectively played through mid lane. They played through mid lane. This is something that has been missing so much, and Caps as a player is good enough to play with the pressure through mid lane very well. So I'm very happy to see this. They're actually playing through mid lane. They are doing things through mid lane. They're pressuring through mid lane. They were so active in this game through mid lane and transitioned that pressure into bottom. So Reckless got to play his game, Caps got to play his game, and Soaz did a great job playing against Trundle. Trundle was working with very little vision, so it's very difficult for him to play the game because Rek'Sai was hiding in Fog of War a lot. But generally speaking, you know, Soaz also did his job, and Fnatic are looking phenomenal here. Loving the Malzahar pick. You know, like Immortals thought they were doing something great by banning Cassiopeia, Syndra, and then taking the Rise away to kind of cut Cap's champion pool in half, but it just didn't happen. You know, they just brought up the Void King. The Void King appeared. Soaz is maybe taking a bit of a risk here by hitting the turret. He took a lot of damage, quite unnecessary. Didn't need to happen. And now we have the core build finished as well here for Caps, and he just does a shit ton of damage. Like, he just does so much damage. It's crazy. Okay, Fnatic just needs to slow roll this. Like, Immortals is out. Immortals is freaking out. Holy moly, the memes, they just create themselves. It's absolutely crazy. Man, if Gigabyte Marines just fucking seal the deal now and beat Fnatic now, you couldn't write a better script. It would be like the most emotional role. It would be like one of those Spanish shows. Immortals just are going for it. It's the best thing they can hope for. They're trying to get an engage, but the Janna ultimate heals everyone up, and Ole is getting eaten. Cody's son has flash. Whoa! Soaz! Boom! Look at that! Look at that! Shoop! Predicts the flash into boom! Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Fnatic with the W! I gotta give a lot of props to Broxa and Caps. They're finally playing together. They're doing things together, transitioning that, and holy moly, what a fucking storyline. Holy shit. Holy shit. Crazy, crazy stuff. I am... Wow. This is amazing. Reckless taking home the game. I feel like, you know, I've talked so much already about how Fnatic won this game, and I just want to go on to the next one. I just want to go on to the Gigabyte Marines Fnatic matchup and Immortals. What a disappointing ending to the run. It was a good start, 2-1. They were looking good on the macro game, and individually they were looking a bit worse than the other teams, but they were playing the team game very well together. And as soon as Fnatic and Gigabyte Marines actually started playing a good macro game, then I feel like Immortals started to fall apart. I definitely feel like this week, though, that or this day, that Immortals have underperformed. Rough ending for Immortals. You know, it's a tough one. But that's the story of Worlds. It's a rough ending for anyone who doesn't get to quarters, and that's it. Let's move on to the next game. That was quick and elegant and slick, and holy moly, look at that face from Pastry Time. He's summoning his inner demons. I freaking love Pastry Time. What a fantastic caster. All these casters are great, man. Great casters. See you guys in the next one. Peace.